Here is our first personal business letter assignment where you will actually do a little bit of formatting. We certainly will do nowhere near as much as we would have done in class. I know some of you are doing all of your work on your smartphone, and that's fine. And so what we're going to do is minimize the amount of keyboard input that needs to occur, but we do want to at least practice formatting the letter, knowing where the key elements of a letter go on the sheet, and also how to set the margins. So the first step is to go ahead and open up the document that I've provided for you, which is PBL, and PBL will stand for Personal Business Letter, and this is going to be assignment 1 for the infamous spring 2020. So what I've done here, and what you're looking at, is the body of the letter, and so this is to avoid all of the typing, keyboarding that we would normally do within the classroom. So the first step is that we know the body is going to go down somewhere in the document, so we want to get that a little bit out of the way. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on the first paragraph and press enter a few times to get that out of the way. Just bring that down somewhere. We know it's going to go down towards the center of the page. Now generally when you start a letter, the first thing that you do is set the margins. So we'll go ahead and do that, and you will recall from last week, previous lessons, top margin is going to be 2 inches, left margin 1 inch, right margin 1 inch, and the bottom margin 1 inch. So in Google Docs, we'll go ahead and click File, and then scroll down to Page Setup, which will be way down at the bottom. Once again, we want Portrait, and here we can change the top margin to 2 inches. And we can see that the bottom left and right are already set at 1 inch, so we'll just leave that. Click OK. And then we're going to click up to make sure that we are at the 2 inch location, which is now essentially the portion of the page where we can begin typing. So we have this area here from top to our insert point, insert bar at 2 inches. So the first thing you do here now is we need to format the return address. So this is part of your assignment, is that you need to know what your mailing address is. If your mailing address is a post office box, you need to put that. If you receive your mail at a mailbox at the location of where you live, then you need that address. Wherever you receive mail, that is the return address. Generally, for a personal business letter, you don't have to put your name along with the return address. So you can just put the mailing address. If your mailing address is a post office box, then you would type P.O. space box 123. Enter one time, and then put your city, comma, California, 2 spaces, zip code 96134. If you live at a street address, or I should say if you receive your mail at a street address, then you would put that in. After you've typed the zip code, enter one time, single space. Put the current date, the date you are typing this letter. So all the letters that we do, whenever you are doing this assignment, put that particular date. So for me, it's Monday, April 20th, comma, 1 space, 2020. So formatting for business letters, personal business letters, we always spell out the date. We're not going to put 4-20-20. We always spell it out like this. This is the format to use. And then the next thing you'll want to do is enter 4 times to put in quad space. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we can go ahead and put in the mailing address. This will be the mailing address that you use for this letter. And so we are going to mail this letter to Jerry Garcia, who lives at 876 Grateful Road, San Francisco, California, 93015. Once again, note 2 spaces after the state. And now we need double spacing so that we can now type the salutation. So I'll press enter 2 times. Dear Mr. Garcia. We're going to put a colon. Now the body's down too far, so what we need to do is bring it up within a double space of the salutation. And there's different ways that we can do that. We can use the delete key to get rid of this space, or we can just click here at the beginning of that paragraph, press backspace, whatever works for you on your device. So now we have that double spacing. We want the same spacing here that we have here in this section right here. And then we can come down to the end. The body's already typed for us. We need to double space to put in our complimentary closing. I'll enter 2 times. Sincerely, followed by a comma. Remember, we're using mixed punctuation. Enter 4 times. Type your name. Now, in a normal situation, you would print this letter and then sign it in this location here. For now, we will leave that blank. The last step for this letter is that there is an enclosure. Please use the enclosed return card. So what we will do is press enter 2 times and type the word enclosure. And that is known as an enclosure notation. And that is assignment 1, formatting a personal business letter. You zoom out a little bit. And we can see the letter in its entirety. A little tough to see, a little small there, but you can see our 2-inch margin, 1 inch on each side. And so this makes for a very professional looking, very nice looking personal business letter. Make sure you send me any comments if you're having challenges doing this formatting, and we'll get it worked out. Once you have that done, go ahead and click Mark as Done and Submit, and I'll receive it and take a look at it, and I will see you in the next video.